Hello friends, welcome back to my channel Mukesh English, and this is Mukesh SONI. Friends, in this video we shall have the discussion of model question paper of first semester BBA General English under Bangalore City University, and this is the new syllabus which has started from the year 2024 SEP syllabus. So before we go through the model question paper, let's have a glance at the question paper pattern, how the question paper is going to be designed. So 50, you will be having here 3 hours examination, and the question paper will have the weightage for 80 marks, and that 80 marks will be divided into the two important sections. The section A consists 50 marks from the 7 lessons from the textbook, 7 lessons of the textbook. And here again, you'll be having 50 marks into the 3 divisions, 2 marks 5 questions, and 5 marks 4 questions, and 10 marks 2 questions. As far as the grammar is concerned, that has a weightage for 30 marks, comprehension passage 5 marks, tenses 5 marks, active and passive voice vice versa 5 marks. You need to convert active to passive or passive to active. Verbal and non-verbal communication questions for 5 marks, writing the dialogues 5 marks, and the vocabulary like synonyms, antonyms, homophones, etc. for 5 marks. So that is the blueprint of your question paper. Now let's solve the model question paper of first semester BBA General English under Bangalore City University with reference to your textbook. So the section A, literary components for 50 marks. Under this, we have here 2 marks questions. So out of 7 questions, you need to opt 5 questions, 2 into 5, 10 marks. Describe the setting where the astrologer conducts his business in the short story, The Astrologer's Day. The astrologer conducts his business under a spreading tamarind tree in a busy town park, which is surrounded by various vendors and illuminated by a mix of shop lights and flares. Question number 2. What does marriage of true minds in the sonnet 116 refer to? In the sonnet 116 by William Shakespeare, the phrase marriage of true minds refers to the ideal, perfect union of two souls or the two minds who are deeply and genuinely in love. Next, the third question we have here. Why is the shop compared to Kamdenu in the poem Shut Down the Shop? Small shopkeepers were once upon a time, they were rulers of the street. They used to provide all kinds of goods. Just like Kamdenu, a mythical Indian cow believed to fulfill all the wishes. This is how it is compared, the shop is compared to Kamdenu. Fourth question, in the short story with the photographer, what does the photographer do before clicking the picture? Before clicking the picture, the photographer adjusts the narrator's face and posture in an overly meticulous and clinical manner, which shows his obsession with the technical perfection rather than capturing the narrator's true likeness. Question number 5. In the story, the necklace, Madame Mathilde Loisel desires a life of luxury and sophistication beyond her means. Is it a true statement? It's absolutely correct statement. What was Subroto's earliest memory of his father? In his speech, he remembers that his father was a district employment officer in Koraput, Orissa. And the last question, what is the purpose of using weasel words in advertisements in the essay Rhetoric of Advertising? The purpose is here to create the illusion of making strong claims without actually committing to anything specific. These words are intentionally very vague, ambiguous, allowing the advertisers to suggest benefits or qualities that may not be entirely true. So these are the 2 marks questions. Now we are moving to the 5 marks questions. So there is a typo error here. It is 4 into 5. So you need to opt here four questions out of 6 questions. 4 into 5, 20 marks. Question number 1 for the 5 marks. What happens during the astrologer's encounter with Guru Nayak, and how does the astrologer deal with the situation? The astrologer meets Guru Nayak, a man he once hurt and he thought he killed him. Now Guru Nanak asks if he will find the person who attacked him. The astrologer realizes the danger, but he remains calm. He tells Guru Nanak that the man he's looking for is already dead and advises him to go back home. Guru Nanak believes him and leaves. The astrologer handles the situation by thinking quickly and using some clever words. He feels relieved because he learns that the man he thought he killed is alive. Now he doesn't feel guilty of any murder and he goes home peacefully. You can elaborate the answer. They are the sample answers. Question number 2. How does a photographer's attitude and behavior contribute to the main character's experience? Discuss any instances, any example of humor which come from the interactions. The photographer's attitude and behavior make the narrator's experience frustrating but also funny. The photographer is serious, critical, more focused on making the photograph perfect than capturing the narrator as he really is. He criticizes the narrator's face, saying the things like, the face is wrong. He gives strange instructions like droop the ears, hump the neck. So these actions make the situation both awkward and humorous. So there are many funny moments in the interaction. For example, when the photographer twists the narrator's head, the narrator thinks he's going to kiss him. Another funny example is when the photographer retouches the photo so much that it doesn't look like the narrator at all. He changes the eyebrows, mouth, and even talks about removing the ears. The narrator's sarcastic remarks and emotional outburst when he says the photo is no longer his face, which is also going to add the humor to the interaction. So these moments show the ridiculousness of trying to create perfection instead of accepting the natural beauty. Question number 3. Is the poet convinced? I'm sorry. Is the poet convinced about his claim about love in the sonnet 116? Why does he use the word if in the couplet? Yes, the poet William Shakespeare is absolutely convinced about his claim about love in the sonnet 116. Throughout the sonnet, Shakespeare describes love as unwavering, constant, and eternal. He portrays it just like a guiding star, unaffected by time or circumstances, emphasizing its enduring nature. His tone is confident and assertive, leaving little doubt about his belief in the steadfastness of true love. Excuse me. About his belief in the eternity of true love. However, he uses the word if in the concluding couplet as a rhetorical device to emphasize his conviction by saying, if this be error and upon me proved, I never writ nor no man ever loved. He implies that the truth of his statements about love is so certain that denying it would invalidate whatever he has written, even the coexistence of love itself. The if is not an expression of doubt, but it's a way to show the certainty of his argument, making his claim about love even more powerful. That's the importance of the word if in the couplet. So now the fourth question. Examine the plot structure of the story The Necklace. Identify and explain the key incidents that contribute to the story's rising action, climax, and resolution. So, in the story Necklace by Guy de Maupassant, the story follows the life of Mathilde Loisel, a woman who dreams of wealth and luxury but lives a modest life. So, what's rising action in the story here? Rising action: Mathilde's husband invites her to a ball, the party, but she's unhappy because she has no fancy dress or jewelry. Her husband gives her money to buy a new dress, and she borrows a beautiful necklace from a friend, Forestier. At the ball, Mathilde enjoys attention and feels glamorous, but after the event, she realizes that she has lost the necklace. And then, what is the climax? Mathilde and her husband search for the necklace but cannot find it, so they decide to replace it with an expensive necklace, borrowing money to pay it. It's about $36,000 maybe. Falling action, not dollars, French currency. Falling action. The Loisels struggles for 10 years to pay off the debt. Mathilde works hard and her beauty fades because of the tough life they lead. Resolution. After 10 years, Mathilde tells Forestier about replacing the necklace. Forestier then reveals that the original necklace was just a fake, worth much, much less than they had spent. So the story highlights the consequences of vanity and the irony of Mathilde's sacrifice. Last question for 5 marks. How can advertisements manipulate audiences through negative emotional appeals? According to the essay Rhetoric of Advertising. According to the essay Rhetoric of Advertising, advertisements can manipulate audience through negative emotional appeals by first arousing the feelings of fear, anxiety, insecurity, then offering the product as a solution to these concerns. For example, advertisements may highlight potential problems or dangers such as health risk or missed opportunities. Then they position the product as a way to prevent or fix such issues. Then, one example which is mentioned in the essay is about how a baby food ad can evoke fear about infant mortality rates, which really suggests that the product could protect against this risk. Similarly, ads for cameras like those from Polaroid or Nikon evoke the fear of missing out and capturing precious moments, then offer the camera as a form of insurance to ensure that no meaningful moment is lost. So these are the emotional tactics aimed to trigger a sense of urgency and need in the consumer, convincing them that purchasing the product will resolve the fear of anxiety being played upon. So these are the 5 marks questions. Now we are moving to the 10 marks questions where you need to write the answers in minimum 2 to 3 pages. Friends, my answers are just a sample answer. You need to elaborate those answers. Question number 1. Comment on the personal anecdotes and simple words in the speech Go Kiss the World. In the speech titled Go Kiss the World, Subroto Bakchi uses the personal anecdotes to convey powerful life lessons. He reflects on his childhood, shaped by his father's humility and principles. For example, his father treated everyone with respect, regardless of the status, teaching him to value all people. Another important story in which also involves his mother, who, despite losing her eyesight, never complained about her circumstances. Instead, she lived with resilience, teaching Bakshi the importance of maintaining a positive outlook no matter the adversity. So these anecdotes not only highlight his parents' values but also emphasize that true success lies in one's character, attitude, and the legacy left behind. Now we have here simple words. Bakchi's usage of simple everyday language makes his message relatable and impactful. He avoids using complex vocabulary. He opts clear and accessible language that ensures his lessons resonate with a wide audience, reaches to many people. His stories, told in straightforward terms, communicate universal values such as humility, respect, resilience, which go beyond personal experiences. By keeping his language simple, Subroto Bakshi ensures that his speech speaks to everyone regardless of any background while offering timeless advice on how to define a success in life. So this is the one question. Second question we have here, what does the tone of the title Shut Down the Shop indicate? What alternate measure does a small business owner take to survive in a consumeristic society? So it's very practical question, very critical thinking question. The title Shut Down the Shop gives a feeling of giving up or accepting that it's time to close. It suggests that continuing to run the shop would only bring more shame or failure. The tone is about realizing about that the shop can no longer survive and that closing it down on your own is better than letting it fall apart completely. Alternative measures for small business survival in a consumeristic society. How? In today's world, where big companies dominate, small businesses can try some several things to survive. So this is quite common sense answer, I would say. So how to survive? We need to, I will not read the complete answer. You can pause the video. Adapting to change, focusing on niche, providing quality, building relationships, expanding offerings, partnering with others, rebranding. So in this manner, while the poem suggests shutting down when a business cannot keep up. So these ideas can help small businesses survive by changing and adapting to today's market skills. Now the next question we have here, this question is also quite practical question, critical thinking. It's not a direct question. Analyze any two advertisements of the present day in the light of the arguments of Hirschberg, the rhetoric advertising, the essay. So here we can take the example of Nike, which uses the Just Do It campaign, where we find emotional appeals, right? We find negative emotional appeal also. Ethos, credibility, we find. Logos, the logic, Just Do It slogan, we find. Second example, you can pause the video. Coca-Cola campaign, where it shows open happiness campaign. Here also we find emotional appeal, pathos, the negative emotional appeal, ethos, the credibility, and the logos. So this is quite practical question, and you can also give the other examples because you are pursuing the BBA course. I think you should give better example than I have mentioned here. So these are the 10 marks questions from the textbook. So totally we have solved by now 50 marks questions, 2 marks 5 questions, 5 marks 4 questions, and 10 marks 2 questions from the 7 lessons. Now we are moving to 30 marks questions from the grammar. So friends, let me tell you, I have done one single video which consists all the 7 lessons summary, all the 7 lessons summary. So you can find out the link of that video in the description. And also, I have also done the videos on the important grammar part with reference to the syllabus. Even you can also find out the videos links in the description. So that's going to help you a lot. So and now after doing this campaigning of my channel, now we are moving to the 30 marks questions from the section B. So very first question we have here, comprehension passage. So it's quite common question in every semester. So you need to read this passage and you need to answer 5 questions based on the passage, one line, one word, or multiple choice questions. Next question we have here, tenses. From time and tense, you need to fill the blank by using the appropriate form of the verb which is given in the bracket. So we find here this is in the past tense. How do you find it's in the past tense? You can see here the helping verb was. So Alice began to get very tired of sitting by her sister at the bank, of having nothing to do. Once or twice she had peeped into the book her sister was reading, but it had no picture or conversations in it. And what is the use of the book? Alice thought. So this is how you need to write the answer. Began, sitting, peeped, had, thought. So you need to find out a clue here. Is this passage in the present tense or the past tense? If it is in past tense, it's more easier. So on tense, you can watch my exclusive video on tense. Link is in the description. Second question we have here, voice. Change the voice of the following sentences, active to passive and passive to active. You can have vice versa. So you will get the mixed questions. Some questions you need to change active voice to passive voice to active voice. Let's see this question. It's in the passive voice. The project was completed ahead of schedule by the engineering team. So you need to convert into active voice. What's the answer? The engineering team completed the project ahead of the schedule. Second, the decision was made after careful consideration by the board of directors. It's in the passive voice. You need to convert into active. The board of directors made a decision after careful consideration. The books were donated to the library by local charity organization. It's in the passive. You need to convert into active. The local charity organization donated the book to the library. Next, fourth question. The police arrested the suspect near the scene of the crime. This is in the active. You need to convert into passive. So you can see whom they have arrested. The suspect was arrested by the police near the scene of the crime. The government should provide more funding for education. This is again in the active voice. You need to change the passive. So more funding for the education should be provided for, I'm sorry, more funding for the education should be provided, more, more funding for education should be provided by the government. So I'm sorry, there's an error here. I repeat, more funding for the education should be provided by the government. So not for the government, please do correct this minor error. I repeat, more funding for the education should be provided by the government. So we need to erase this one. So this is the active passive voice. You can watch my special videos on active and passive voice with a lot of exercises. The link is in the description. Next question we have here, from communication skills. So you'll be here, 5 questions will be asked on the communication skills, like what is verbal communication? Communication is the process by which people create, they use the words to communicate. Then give the difference between interpersonal and intrapersonal. Interpersonal, when the two persons communicate. Intrapersonal, when a person communicates himself, right, with emotions. It's called intrapersonal. What is kinesics? Kinesics here refers to all the body language, gesture, posture, eye contact, etc. Then next question, what is proxemics? Proxemics means to say the distance, the closeness of the person's space. The measure, we measure the physical distance between the people. What is paralanguage? Paralanguage here refers to the way we use our tone, style, stress, intonation, etc. So this is how they'll be asking 5 questions in the verbal and non-verbal communication. So I have done a very special video on this topic. You can see the link in the description box on this video. That's going to help you a lot. Next question we have here, Dialogue writing. So you need to draft dialogue on a given situation. So what's the situation is here? Write a dialogue between two friends who have met after several years. So you need to prepare the dialogue by using the appropriate punctuation. You can just pause the video and you can read this dialogue. Dialogue writing is for 5 marks. Then the last section you have here, vocabulary. So in the vocabulary, you have the first question, synonym. You need to find a synonym. We need to find a synonym of a word here. There's a mistake here. A brief, right? Okay, you need to find an appropriate synonym between concise or brief. Give me a brief account of the accident, right? Similarly, antonyms for the word agree, disagree, right? Brief or concise, which is the appropriate one is here, brief, not concise account, brief account. The antonym for agree is here disagree. Synonym means similar meaning, antonym means opposite meaning. This for 1 mark. Next question we have here, we need to frame 2 sentences by using the word trunk, homonym, by using the word trunk, same pronunciation, same spelling, but in 2 different contexts. For example, you need to frame the sentence like this. The peepal tree had a massive trunk. I had loaded the luggage in the trunk of the car. Got it now? Here, this trunk here refers to about the tree. This trunk here refers to space in the car. So, like this, there are so many words: RIT, RIGST, REIN, REIGN, RAIN. Okay, so these are 2 marks questions. Then we have questions. Write a suitable homophone for the word sight. Homophone means again 2 different words with 2 different spellings, 2 different meanings, but same pronunciation. So with the same pronunciation of sight, what word we can get? We can get SIGST, sight. So this is how you need to answer the questions from the vocabulary. And friends, this is how I have tried to solve the model question paper of first semester BBA General English under BCU syllabus. So on your screen, you can see a brief glance of the complete syllabus. And I hope you have liked this video, and this video will definitely help you to attempt the examination successfully. Guys, if you have liked this video, click on the like button, write in the comment box. If you have not yet subscribed my channel, please do subscribe. It's the right time. You'll be getting the videos in the second semester, third semester, and the fourth semester. And also look into the description. You'll get all the 7 lessons, one single video where you'll get all the lesson summary, the grammar, active passive voice, tense, all the grammar links, communication skills. You will get the links of the grammar in the description. So friends, thank you so much for watching this video. I wish you very good luck for the forthcoming examinations. Thank you once again.